Hello and welcome to Sports This Morning. I'm Cecilia Omogbe. On the program this morning, Super Eagles will get a new coach soon. That's according to NFF President Amaju Pinnick. Also on the program is a five-star Nigerian Ratters. Now, this team just gained promotion to Nigerian Women's Professional Football League, and they are top of their Group A table. That's got the likes of Nassau Amazons, Edo Queens, and of course, Confluence Queens. But right now, they're top of the table because they defeated Adamawa 5-2. Also in the program, for the Milwaukee Bucks, where they snapped a two-game losing run. They avoided losing again for the third time. And then what happened in this one? Drew Holiday, Chris Middleton, they rose up in the absence of Giannis Antetokounmpo to give them that 126-106 victory over the Houston Rockets. Of course, Jordan Nwora was the man who hit 4 3-points on his way to getting 80 points overall for the Bucks. All right, I'm starting with results coming from the NBA this morning. About 5 matches were played. It was supposed to be 6, but the games between Chicago Bulls and the Raptors were postponed. Of course, you know what's happening right now. The COVID-19 is really not looking good for most of the teams. That's why the game was postponed, the Bulls and the Raptors. Now, for games of early hours of this morning, for the Atlanta Hawks and Orlando Magic, it was 198-104 in favor of the Atlanta Hawks. And the game between the Celtics and the Cavs, it was 111-101. Jaylen Brown scoring 16 first quarter points to finish with 34 for the game, including 5 3-pointers. And the Celtics got the better of the Cavs. Also, the game between the Bucks and, of course, the Rockets that I talked about earlier, 126-106, where Drew Holiday and Jordan Nwora, all of them stepping up in the absence of Giannis Antetokounmpo, who is still, of course, for the 4th straight game after he entered the NBA health and safety protocols last week. So he's missed 4 of their last games. OKC and the Denver Nuggets, it was 108-94. And the game between the Clippers and the Sacramento Kings, it was 105-89 in favor, of course, the Clippers. Now, for today's game, our pick for the day is the game between the Bucks and the Rockets. And because of the performance of Jordan Nwora, we had to make that spectacular step to be able to get the win over. For them to be able to get the win over the Houston Rockets, who is really slumping right now. Let's get reaction from the game. Joe Holiday talking about how Jordan Nwora has to watch his mistake for him to be able to get some tricks from there and getting all the shots right.
I think just being consistent. I think we did a good job defensively, and we know how it is when we're kind of going back and forth scoring. But I think we ended up getting stops and making plays at the other end. And I mean, West just coming out and bringing that energy that he does, playing his heart out, leaving it all out on the floor, and we feed off that.
First, I'll say, watching Drew's mixtapes, I watch him before every game. It really gets me in the right mindset. But really just playing hard, rebounding, doing little things, diving for loose balls, stuff like that. That's what Bud's looking for, and those are the things that are going to help the team win outside of scoring. So, this is what I've been trying to do the past few games. The first thing is like nobody ever wants to make a move like that, then miss the shot. So I had a lot of time. So I just really locked in because it wouldn't have mattered if
we would have booed
you.
Yeah. We would have booed him if he missed the shot. But it's a nice move, though.
Yeah.
And after that trick he played on the defender, shooting that 3 without missing, I believe that he obviously, talking about Amoni Brooks was the guy he did that dirt on, so to speak. I believe by now he will be thinking, I want to rewatch that game again. What really happened for Jordan Nwora to do that to him? He had a very memorable game, and he ended with not just 18 points, he also had 9 rebounds for the Milwaukee Bucks. DeMarcus Cousins was another player who had 18 points on the night, also sinking, also having 8 rebounds. So we'll live in the NBA now and quickly talk about that. Okay, yes, we have a top performance, 34-4-4. Cam Reddish got that for us today. All right, leaving the NBA finally. We'll talk about that. The Lagos State Open Darts Championship took place at the weekend. And then there was a surprise winner, a 14-year-old. Okay, now, when we're talking about darts, I mean, you look at the World Championships, you've seen the big names and most of the players who play in, but when you have a teenager playing in a tournament like this, and you're asking yourself, literally, every child wants to play every sport, not just basketball, not just football, and not just chess. Yes, we know a lot of young players are playing chess, but this time on is a dart, and this dart, she won 2 gold medals in the female 501 singles and the girls 501 singles. It's the very first time Lagos State is having an open darts championship. And of course, the finals were at the Teslim Balogun Stadium. She has to brave the odds to be able to get into this particular category. She will be joining us on the program after this timeout.
I went for National Youth Games. I came back with a good performance, but unfortunately I didn't win anything. Then after a while, she took me for another competition where I faced adults and I came back with a silver medal. And that is I love the game darts.
A lot of people do not know that it's a calculating sport, right from the first arrow downwards. So it's a combination of your sight, your automaticity, and your mental well-being. So if you cannot calculate, there's no way you can play this sport. So it keeps your mind and your brain and yourself being active. You can see Ayomide was on, she has played, if she has not played at all, in the last 48 hours, 10 hours. And you can imagine how grueling that is and how tasking it is on your body.
Apart from his multi-medal sports, he has about 16 sports. And, we've been to National Festival. We've been there, we've seen how it's done. Just concluded festival. What we discovered is, yes, we had fewer gold than the eventual champions, but we discovered that we had more spread in sports. We had 21. We had 20. We have our medals spread over 21 sports, but the champion Delta State only had 17 sports. I mean, their medals spread over 17 sports. And how do we tackle it? And this is one of the steps.
One of the steps, yes. The star girl, she's right here in the studio, Ayomide Ogunawo. Ayomide, how are you? Good morning.
I feel very good, thank you.
I can see that. Now, I can see 3 medals, right?
Yeah.
I mentioned 2. So where are the others from?
I got this from IGP Darts.
Okay.
I played in senior category and won a silver medal.
Interesting. Now, I mean, when I saw you, I'm like, okay, when I heard the story that the winner of the Lagos Open Darts Championship happened to be a 14-year-old girl, I'm like, you competed in the senior and junior category, the women and the girls, and you won both.
Yes.
How did you do that?
It was actually, I've been training for, I was introduced to that about 6 months ago, so.
Oh, just 6 months?
Yeah,
okay.
But I actually started competing 3 months ago, and I've actually been determined about it, different complications, but I was able to get to where I am now. A lot of things have been happening.
Okay.
That is really fun for everyone.
Okay.
It's a really fun sport. People fall in love with it. It's being introduced in schools. A lot of people know about it.
Interesting. I mean, I don't know much about that, so I have to admit that. Because yes, chess, of course, I do. But that, I mean, it's hard. There's a World Championship currently going on.
Yes,
I tried to follow it yesterday because of you. I mean, you're making me liking the sports right now because of what you did, at the weekend. Now, for you, why did you choose the sports? And you said you were introduced to the sport 6 months ago. Who did that? Who introduced you to the game?
My secretary, Gemma Soribe. She was the one who introduced me to that. She just came one day and was like, would you love to play that? And I told her yes. I fell in love with the sport. Now that's where I am.
So, I mean, you need to teach us some tricks about it. How were you able to win? Yes, you have to, the throw, you have to be perfect, try to get the particular angle or the particular eye and everything.
Yeah, they say no one is perfect, but you just have to train, work hard. It's a really good thing for anyone. That is complicated.
Yes.
It can be very complicated. It's about calculations.
Okay.
You have to, being a data, you can also be a mathematician.
Okay, I love that. Okay, so tell me, how do you marry both? How does it work? Being a data and a mathematician, how does it work? The calculation aspect, how does it work?
Yeah, the calculation is whatever you play, it is like you have a particular score. Like for now, we have 501. Whatever you score, they deduct it from the where you have to end with a double on the board. But the particular thing that is complicated about it is the checkouts.
Okay.
Like now, for example, if you have 100 score, your checkouts can be a 60, and a 20, and then a 40.
Okay.
That's double 20, then it's a checkout. And you have to know it offhand because you can actually check out from 170.
Okay.
So it's not really something very easy to just remember like that.
Okay. I mean, how did you manage it? Because, I mean, I'm trying to understand the sports right now. I mean, what you're saying, the terms and everything, not too easy to really get. Yes,
Yeah.
I know we've seen young players playing chess, and now you're playing darts, and they're just 14 years old. I mean, you played against senior players. I mean, some who played with a police force, that club, all of them came, and then you're a Lagos State athlete.
Yeah.
I mean, for you to be able to dust all of them, but there must have been something extra you did. Maybe your support from your parents or from your school. Where are all this coming from?
Actually, my mom always told me that you always have to train hard. You know you can beat these people. You're going to do it. And I actually, honestly,
Yeah.
I didn't really look at it as something too big.
Okay.
My mom always wanted me to go find sports. And
Does she love the sport? Did she play that? Did she
no,
play?
she didn't play that. She does taekwondo.
Okay.
She's head coach for Lagos State Taekwondo Association. My dad is Lagos State chairman. So we all do sports in our family. I love doing sports. I do all kinds of sports. I've done badminton, taekwondo, different kinds of sports. Even my younger sister too, the same thing. So it runs in our blood.
Okay.
That's the way it is.
Now I understand where it's coming from, because I'm like, I mean, there's sports you could have chosen from. The sports you could say, okay, this is the sport I want to play. I mean, you mentioned badminton.
Yeah.
Then it could have been tennis. It could have been basketball. It could have been football, and you chose that. And you said that the secretary of the Lagos State Data Association actually, puts you through it.
Yeah.
In your school, is there a competition like this? Is there anything about that? Maybe you have a club or something in your school?
Well, recently, because of this competition, the Lagos State Open Darts Championship, I started coaching my classmates and schoolmates.
Okay.
So that they will be able to come. And I would love to say that they performed excellently well. Yeah, they didn't win things, but yes, they went home saying, yes, they played really well. They played against Lagos State's darts players too, my teammates. But they performed excellently well. All the games, best of 3, ended 2-1. They did very well.
Interesting. I love that. I mean, you're not just a player now, you're also a coach. I'm liking it. You intend to open a club in your school. You attend Covenant Senior Secondary School?
Yes, Covenant Child Academy.
Okay, Covenant Child Academy. Yeah. Now, do you intend to open a darts club in your school?
Yeah,
or you already have one?
We don't,
okay.
But I've told my teacher that when we resume, we are going to have a darts club in our school. Because even a lot of people are interested in it. People, I think the way people just ran to me that they want to join, I must call them, this, that. There was even a few people that followed us to watch. Okay. Most of them are interested in it.
So you're more like a role model now at 14, and I'm liking that. You're a role model, you're a coach, and then you're bringing players into sports. That's remarkable, because I understand it's hard for you to, win a particular championship, own it, love the sport, and then start teaching people how to play it. And those you're teaching are also excelling in the sport. So these aspects are really big for you.
Yeah.
How do you tend to channel all these energy? Because you're also in school.
Yeah.
To manage them.
Well, I have a lot of support from many people.
Okay.
Yeah, so I know partially I'm not going to do all the work. Yeah, okay. I'm the one who's getting credit. I'm the one who's teaching people. I also train myself. I have a board at home which I play with. My dad, I play with my dad. he also started playing that with me.
Yeah.
Yeah, we challenge each other, and I'm just going to be able to cope.
Interesting. And I love the fact that your school is actually in support of it, because sometimes, you know, marrying education and sports can be difficult, especially when your school are really not interested. But with your school interest in it, you have the time to take out to participate in championship. And you know, that is not a popular sport. We all know that.
It's not.
So, and you're trying to make it popular in your school.
Yeah.
And then, where will you go from here, outside making it popular in your school? Is it something you want to take professionally, maybe become a professional data?
Yes, I want to go for the World Darts Championship.
Okay.
I want to become a World Darts champion. For example, there is someone, Falen Sharrock.
Okay.
She beat a lot of champions in the world in that, and I also want to become like her. I want to become like Joan. I want to become like Joan Price.
Okay, yes, that's the most popular.
He's the world darts champion. I want to become famous like the rest of them. I want to be able to beat people that, because I know I've already started a lot of accomplishments. It's very complicated for me, but I know I can cope with it.
Yeah, because you can. I mean, especially when you know, being able to compete with the senior and being able to get something from it. Now, your last word you want to say to your fans and to people who want to play darts, what should they do?
Please, I want you guys to join darts. That is a really fun game. It is a game to fall in love with. I want to thank the Lagos State Darts, the Lagos State Association, for giving me the opportunity to showcase my talents. If not for them, I don't know how on earth I would have known how far I can go.
Okay, Ayomide, thank you so much for coming on the program.
Problem.
All the best for you.
Thank you.
And Merry Christmas in advance.
Same to you.
All right, we need to take a time out now, but we're going to be using reports coming from the NUGA Games, that's Nigeria University Games, where the governor of Lagos State, Sanwo-Olu, actually received the torch of unity in his office.
This one to be a city game, not to be localized only to Akoka. We'll be using other facilities in Lagos, like the Teslim Balogun Stadium, Roe Park, other facilities that we have in Lagos, so that, because we are expecting nothing less than 10,000 people, students and officials, to attend, and you know what that means. It's a lot of, it's a population that only Lagos State can absorb, not Akoka. So we are going to have the sports in other places in Lagos State, and we need the support of Lagos State government. One, concerning the facility that we want to use. Two, transportation. Three, security. Four, that's why I said I'm happy that the Commissioner for Tourism is here too. We want to let the people coming from outside Lagos to feel the impulse of tourism in Lagos State. So we want to look at our lagoon front to see how we can include activities around that place.
And so, like you said, Mr. Vice Chancellor, it's a citywide collaboration. You know, it's an experience of Lagos that I'm sure the over 10,000 students coming around will want to feel. And so we will indeed be opening up our doors, you know, to ensure that Lagos State, you know, support you extensively. You've identified some facilities already, the stadia, the Roe Park. Indeed, to mention, if you had waited a bit more, we'll have given you a lot more facilities. Because as we speak currently, we're building 9 or 10 stadia, you know, concurrently in the state. Sport for us is really a rallying point. It's a way to go.
Welcome back. Before the break, you heard Governor Sanwo-Olu talking about the fact that he's going to use his administration as, he's going to use sports under his administration as a rally point to really project tourism potentials in Lagos. And we know Unilag is hosting the NUGA Games. After a very long time, NUGA Games coming to Lagos. Touch of Unity received that in Marina, on Wednesday. Promise that Lagos State will definitely support, not just with human resources, but also materially. And of course, when we're talking about material, we're talking about the fact that in terms of transportation and logistics, and the venue Lagos will try as much as possible to provide that. The University Games will be held between March 16 and 28. And of course, about 10,000 athletes will be competing, and so many sports and Unilag campus and other sport facilities in Lagos State will be used for that. Him receiving the touch of unity from delegation from Unilag, led by Professor, that's the Vice Chancellor of Unilag, Professor Toyin Ogunekpe, and other top management staff of the institution. They were all there to give him the torch of unity. Shola Rogers is in the studio. It's been a minute. It's been, okay, it's been a minute. It's been 5 years, 10 years. Okay, yeah.
Yeah, something like that.
Something like that. Good morning.
Good morning, Cecilia. Good morning, world. It's always a pleasure to be here.
Yes, it's great to have you on a day like this. All right, let's get on with the Nigeria Women's Football League Premiership. The games are decided on Wednesday. Yes, every Wednesday, that's when you have all the games across the country. And of course, we have two key games we'll be previewing today. The reason why they're key is because these clubs are, the clubs you will say, privately owned clubs. So when they're beating bigger clubs, is worthy of celebrations. First, we'll take a look at all the games that were played, the result before we focus on Nigeria Rattles and also FC Robo, who defeated bigger teams to get to where they are. Now we'll start with Group A. Delta Queens and Sunshine Queens ended 1-0 in favor of the home team. Nigeria Rattles against Adamawa Queens, 5-2. Yes, 5-2. Nigeria Rattles gained promotion into the league. And in Group A right now, yes, it's early days. It's too early to call. They've played 3 games. They've won 2 and 1 draw. So it simply means they've got 7 points and they're top of that table. For Confluence Queens and Edo Queens, Confluence Queens came from a go down to draw against Edo Queens. Edo Queens not looking good. They drew at home the last time. They beat Adamawa 2-0. They went home, they draw, and they went away, another draw. So not looking good for them at all. Group B, you have Royal Queens and Rivers Angels. Okuchuku, maybe she was really upset or something. She scored 2 goals for Rivers Angels to beat Royal Queens at 4-2. National Amazons and Oshun Babes. National Amazons were on fire. 4-0 it ended. FC Robo and Bayelsa Queens ended 1-0 in favor of FC Robo. Okay, FC Robo will get us talking first before we look at Nigeria Rattles, another game that will get us talking. You know, when we went during the break, and when I mentioned FC Robo as champions of the FA Cup, we say, yeah, no, that's natural because when it comes to Lagos FA Cup, they've won it twice. This is the 3rd time they're winning it, so more like perennial champions. But when it comes to the league, they've never won the league title because they're a new club, and most times they always have younger players to play. But playing against Bayelsa, who defeated them in the finals of the Atel Cup, and then the Police Officers Cup, yes, they won, but that was a pre-season. But beating them here in Lagos,
big deal. It's a big deal, actually. You of course, like you said in your intro, they are local champions. When it comes to Lagos, FC Robo is known for discovering and nurturing talent, you know, but they've never really been able to translate that to the national level. But they've been around, they've really paid their dues and everything. And when I saw that result, I was like, wow, this is a big deal. Forget the fact that it's Lagos, the fact that they beat Bayelsa, you know, clean, you know, it's a very good result for them, very good result for the Women's League also. Yeah,
Shukurat Oladipo, 83rd minute, that was what gave them that victory. And that's why the players are really excited about this. Let's take a listen to the players first before we talk about the fan trouble, what happened before that goal actually came in.
I'm very happy, so I'm very determined that we are going to win them because always they have give us they are very, very tough team. So all my men are very determined that we score. I'm sure that we'll score this today.
I don't really know what we did to Bayelsa that got them angry like this. Though we met at the Flying Officers Cup at Abuja and we defeated them, just 1-0 again. So maybe that was what made them angry, that they want to come and revenge. And we also give God glory that we ourselves, we did not relax. I feel so excited because right from the first day I saw the fixtures and Bayelsa is in our group. It has been so too much for me to think about. But since the game is like this today, I just give God glory.
I'm the most happiest man today because I will go into the Christmas, eat many chicken, eat many things, because it would have been a sour chicken for me if I had done this game. And if you see towards the 5 minutes or 10 minutes to go, I was cold. I was just praying internally that God should just intervene. And that dead leg of that girl, left leg, just played the ball from nowhere, and it was a goal. So I feel excited, and I give God the glory. And I give my timid fans who stood by me that this must be a win. And I thank them all for that. I can never bribe a referee. You know why? My player will not grow. When they know I have bribed the referee, they will not grow. And if they don't grow, how would you be having 3, 4, 5 robo players in the national team? It doesn't work. You have to work for what you want to get. No pain, no gain. You can ask any referee, but I will give them the good hospitality, put them in good hotel, let them enjoy while they are in Lagos. But I will not say, go and kill opponents. What if somebody pays somebody to come and kill me too? I believe you were in Ijebu-Ode. You saw everybody was in my support because they saw I'm a lone ranger. So I can never, for him to have said that, I first slighted a national team coach, for that matter, a coach who have won many laurels, a reputable coach in the country, to open his mouth. And he was the one that called me and told me a particular coach misbehaved in his home ground.
Yeah, he's happy with the victory. But then after the game, he wanted to shake the hands of the hands of the coach of Bayelsa Queens, which Moses Adiku. But he refused. He was really upset. He was pissed because of what transpired during the game. And what happened was that the pictures of fans actually trying to rattle the goalkeeper of Bayelsa Queens. She made 6 saves yesterday. She was more like the savior of Bayelsa. If not, maybe the goals could have been up to 6 or 7. But she was always there trying to save all the balls. But then behind her, some fans started, what fans do when they're watching games. And according to the coach of FC Robo Osanjo, he says he doesn't even know them. We can see pictures from that fans trouble. It wasn't really looking good at all, because the fans encroached the pitch behind the goalkeeper, and then Moses Adiku had to call his players and started talking to them. So at the end of the day, it wasn't really a pretty sight. I just hope we can see that visuals, where you have the fans, really doing that. It wasn't really a pretty picture at all. And then after the game, someone went to, to meet Moses Adiku just to explain things that happened. But then Moses Adiku didn't want to shake his hand, so he walked away. And he didn't even grant interview after the game. Most of us were not really happy having watched the game, wanted to get reaction, because some people were saying that a particular fan really hit the head of the goalkeeper. Something hit her head. Most of us didn't see it because of the distance, but then we captured some things on camera behind, the post where the fan actually came so close to hitting the head of the goalkeeper. But then after that, Coach Adiku didn't want to talk about it. He didn't allow his players to talk about it, and then it went on like that. So we were not really, we couldn't get the true story of what happened. I'm sure, okay, this is what led to that particular one. FC Robo tried to score, they missed the point, and the goalkeeper, of course, caught it, and then the fans behind came on, and it wasn't really a pretty sight. And according to, that's one of the fans, they've seen the distance, they're quite far. I don't know what he did with the goalkeeper. They came on. Luckily, you have policemen around, and of course, they had to tell the fans to, keep quiet, just behave themselves. And then before the game was stopped for like 5 or 6 minutes before it started. Now, these fans really, rattled the goalkeeper. The coach had to call them back. This is something we didn't really want to see, and luckily for these police officers, they had to come. You see, at this particular time, the goalkeeper had already left because Coach Moses Adiku had to call his players and tell them to, to leave. Yeah, this was the time they were really harassing the goalkeeper, where she had to go. It wasn't really looking good at all.
Well, there's a part of me that's happy that we have people going to watch women's football on a weekday in Lagos, which is a good sign. It shows that if we do it properly, we'll get more people to come watch and encourage these ladies play this beautiful game.
Yeah.
But on the flip side, we all know that there are certain things that you need to put in place if you are going to host a match. And we've seen policemen on ground, but were they adequate? Did they have enough policemen?
Yeah.
And 2, they could have actually used their discretion to clear out
all of them.
The people behind the goalkeeper. Legacy pitch is big. It's very big. And the bleachers can contain all this crowd that I'm seeing here. So they could have at least done that to make the goalkeeper feel safe.
Yes.
And all of that, It's a smart move on the part of FC Robo to say these are not their fans, So we would like to assume that they are neutral fans who have decided to harass only one team.
All right, let's get the reaction from the goalkeeper, from the coach of FC Robo, Emmanuel Osaon.
It's truly a boy. It's not my fans. My fans will be wearing blue. Let him come to the camera. These are my fans. Come. These are my fans. They will wear blue. They will wear blue, the color. These are my fans. That one is truly area boy that came to watch. You will not see him standing. These are my fans. They did not wear clothes today. They will comport themselves. You say they are making noise, they kept quiet. Somebody cannot just come from nowhere, enter the field because the gate is free, come and create scene because of one or two reasons.
Okay, they're not his fans. His fans wear blue to support the team. All right, I hope next time something like this won't happen. I hope Moses Aduko, whatever is happening, he'll be able to get over that. Okay, time to focus on AFCON. Okay, before we leave AFCON quickly, we'll talk about Niger Ratters. Yes, I mentioned Niger Ratters earlier about the fact that they've defeated Adamawa 5-2. And that game, Adamawa scored first in the game before Niger Ratters woke up. I think as early as the 6th minute into the game, they conceded their first goal. But it seems that actually woke them up. Ijoma Obi scored the first goal in the 4th minute. That woke them up. That was the first goal there that they conceded. That woke them up. And then Olamide Adugba in the 5th to 6th minute. That game ended 1-0 after first half. Now, in second half, that's when the 6 other goals were scored. 56 minutes, Olamide Adugba equalized. And then, before you know it, Morutayo Ezekiel scored again in the 60th minute. That's 4 minutes later to make it 2-1. And then you have additional also scoring. And then you have Olamide also scoring. And then you have Emmanuel also scoring. In the 90th minute, that was when Emmanuel Umbosowo actually scored to make it 5-2. It could have been 5-1. And that 90th minute was 90th minute, just before the final whistle. Then for Niger Ratters, it was celebration for the team, privately owned club, the first time in the Premiership, and then they got this particular victory.
Look, any game that produces 7 goals is worth watching over and over again. And I wish that we would be able to catch this kind of game. So maybe even the highlights somewhere online or anywhere, But this is a good result for the women's game, and we hope to see more of this.
Yeah, more of it. It was celebration for Niger Ratters. Right now, they're top of the league table. They're top of their league. They're top of their group, which is Group A. And hopefully with this particular momentum, because their motto is actually 1 game at a time. That's what the coach keeps saying. We see how far they will go this season, get to Super 6, and then see if they can win the league. Where you have, of course, Rivers Angels, Bayelsa Queens, and the Sunshine Queens and the Do Queens, all of them.
And all the queens.
All the queens, right? If the Hotels can compete with the queens and get the title this season. So finally, we're leaving Nigerian Women's Professional Football League Premiership and then go to AFCON. Our countdown is 17 days to read. And the story is flying everywhere that, hey, maybe Austin Eguavoen might not just take Super Eagles to the Nations Cup. I'm like, okay. But then, if a new coach is going to be appointed next week, will that coach be willing to take a team? He did not qualify to the Nations Cup, especially when stories are flying around that he is a foreign coach. But today, our focus is on Nigeria, of course. Nigeria, that's our focus for today. Now, we'll take a look at the history of the Super Eagles of Nigeria. That's obviously their nickname. Right now, they're ranked 36th in the world. They featured 19 times at the competition. They've won 3 titles in 1980, 94, and 2003. Of course, Nigeria is one of the 8 teams to have won the title as host, and that was in 1980 when they hosted, and they won it. Tunisia is another team, and then you have Egypt, also another. Egypt and South Africa happens to be other teams that have also hosted and won the tournament. So Nigeria is the most team to finish top 3 in the history with a total of 15 times. That 15 times, 8 of it happens to be Bronze medal. That's the golden bronze, right? Okay. And then Nigeria's Stephen Keshi, the late Stephen Keshi, is one of the 2 men to win titles as a player and also a coach. He won the title in 1994 in Tunisia and 2013. He also won it as a coach. Segun Odegbami is one of the 6 men who won Top Scorer Award in multiple editions. He won it in 1978. We didn't win it at that time, but 1980 when we won it, he was the top scorer. That's the history of Nigeria. Now going into the Nations Cup, Nigeria obviously want to add to the titles they've won, which will be a 4th time. Now, before I come to Shola Rogers, because today is all about Nigeria, let's listen to the NFF president, Amaju Pinnick, talking about a new coach that may be unveiled soon.
Up to 3 top coaches, you know. And you should know Nigeria is a country that everybody, every senior top coach will want to coach because they know that with the team, players that we have, they can make an immediate impact. So it's based on that, you know, there's no coach. There's no top coach. Even some that are coaching other countries want to leave those countries and come to Nigeria. But what the emphasis on this new coach, one is discipline. I will look at his antecedent on discipline and his team. And 2, we also look at hunger. How hungry is he to win trophies? Because if you are hungry, it surpasses so many things. Because you want to win, you will instill discipline. You will bring in technically. You do things that, you know. So we look at all those things, and I cannot make a pronouncement emphatically because I'll be undermining my executive committee. Pizarro, the name you bandy around, of course, Pizarro is one of the coaches, and I can tell you it's top, you know. It's top out there, and of course, you've heard about Bladim, but Bladim, after talking to him, he got a job. So we didn't just look at people that want to, but people that are hungry and people that are ready to take Nigeria as a home. People that we know that he is coming against 200 million Nigerians and ready for the challenge.
All right, talking about the Super Eagles coach, they're talking to 3, and of course, wants the best of players for the Super Eagles of Nigeria. Bada Akintunde Johnson is also joining us on this segment. Bada, good morning.
Morning, Cecilia. Compliments of the season.
Same to you. Wish you the same. All right, you just heard Amaju Pinnick talking about they will get new coaches soon. I mean, details are not really, he didn't go into details how many, but their names that have been flying around, how himself and the sports minister have actually spoken with Jose Mourinho, recommended a coach for his assistant, someone that has been with him when he was at Inter Milan and various clubs, Real Madrid. Someone who's been with him was recommended, and that's one of the coaches that Nigerian Football Federation and the ministry are actually talking to take over the job of the Super Eagles. What do you make of this?
I think it's bad timing, to be honest. The team is a couple of days away from a major tournament, and you're talking about hiring a new coach almost every day when there's someone else who's been put in temporary charge of the team. Everybody knows that that coach is probably going to be hired ahead of the World Cup versus being saddled with the responsibility of leading the team to AFCON. AFCON is a few days away. So why not let Eguavon focus on the work that needs to be done and then do all of the due diligence that has to go into recruiting a very sound, solid, substantive manager for the national team behind the scene. And when you're ready, make your announcement and keep it going, keep it moving. You know, this whole drama around it is distracting. You know, we're probably the only team going into the competition talking about a new coach on the eve of the tournament when people are going into closed camping and whittling down the professional squads into the final number that will make the competition. It's it's distracting. I don't know what they're trying to achieve. I hate to think though that the plan is to bring in a coach that takes charge during AFCON, because that would just be a recipe for disaster. So if we're looking at a coach that takes us to the World Cup, and I imagine that's the attraction on the part of the coach as well. We're talking about a manager who's worked with Jose Mourinho at the top level of international football. We're talking about a manager who's attracted to us because of the prospect of going to the World Cup, overseeing the last knockout, round, the playoff phase of the competition, and taking charge of a team full of brilliant individuals, world-class players, to the football showpiece in Qatar. I would think that's the reason why the manager, whoever is interested in managing us, not taking over a team that's a couple of days away from a major international or a major continental competition.
All right, we need to quickly go on a break. When we'll come back, we'll get back to you. And also, Shola Rogers is still here. Yeah, Shola Rogers, you listen to Amaju Pinnick. These names have been flying around Acero, Marias, and people were like, okay, maybe it's not really true. But right now, him confirming it that the coach will take over as soon as possible once the paperwork are done, then it simply means, obviously, we might just have a coach before the Nations Cup. Is the coach going to take the Super Eagles to the Nations Cup? It's a secret we really don't know right now. But I don't think he's going to take us to the Nations Cup. It's just going to be for the World Cup. But they want to have the coach now and seal the deal first. And then maybe he'll watch the Nations Cup with the current crop of interim coaches.
You see, it's sad that you have someone who feels the same way that Bada feels. You have me, and I feel exactly the same way he feels. It would have been nice if we had someone with a different opinion.
I thought you were going to have a different opinion. Same.
I do not. I do not differ or disagree with anything he has said. I was actually just going to take it a step further to say that we need to advise the organizers and the administrators of sports in Nigeria. What are your long-term goals? Why are we always about who's going to take us to the Nations Cup? Who's going to take us to the World Cup? What are our plans for Nigerian football going forward? A 4-year, 10-year, 8-year plan. Do you have that? Have you done anything about it? You get. But we're always going to do it. It's like we're just chasing our own tail. We keep going round and round in circles. Has Nigeria really improved? Have we really gone from the days when we were ranked in the top 10 in the world to 36 now, and we're celebrating it? Do you get what I'm saying? Have we really achieved anything in Nigerian football that is worth celebrating? Other than wanting to qualify, then we bring out our calculators again. Now we're talking about Jose Mourinho recommending coaches and stuff. Are these guys really better than the Nigerian-born coaches that we have? Are they really hungrier? Because the criteria that the NFF chairman talked about, he said hunger. He kept on talking about hunger and discipline. And he kept on talking about discipline like, I'm like, okay, was it that under Royal there was indiscipline, and now you're really harping on discipline? What exactly is this thing about, discipline? We want to check his antecedents for discipline. We want to check hunger. The other guy was so hungry, he got another job somewhere else, you understand? We have a good team. We have a crop of talented players. And I think Eguavon, being the technical director, has been part of this system. It should be left alone. It should be. You bring in a new coach, let him observe the team. Okay. Let him come in, as an observer, so that at least he sees them in a competitive mode and he knows who to continue with.
Maybe that's
or
what
not.
they want to do.
They didn't say that. What they're saying is that Eguavon might not coach the team. They didn't say this. That's why I'm saying it. If they did, I wouldn't bring it up. What they need to do is to stop this distraction and all this. What was the essence of a media parley about a coach that you've not hired in the first place? Let's be honest with ourselves. Look, let's stop playing to the gallery. These guys have been there for so many years. They have made some improvements. I wouldn't take that away from them. In the area of marketing and other things, they've done well. But you see, why are you so into this media thing that you need to have a media parley about a coach that you have not employed? What was that
Just
about?
to clear the air.
A press release would have cleared the air. A press release from Temple Algeria would have done the job.
Opportunity to also
But let's
ask
leave that.
questions.
We know about asking questions. Okay, what exactly did we get? Did you get anything specific? No, we did not. What I'm saying is, I know they're watching and I know they're listening. Could you kindly leave Eguavon alone to do this job at the Nations Cup? And let's not distract these guys from giving us their best.
Okay. Yeah, we'll end that there. And quickly, but I know it was apologies, really. You didn't join us on time on the program. But before we let you go, quickly, we just touch down on the EFL Cup. Arsenal and Liverpool. I mean, Liverpool had to dig deep to be able to beat Leicester City coming from 3-1 down. And then what they get is Arsenal in semi-finals. Yeah, they have confirmation of the results of what went down. Brentford and Chelsea, 2-0 Chelsea winning. Liverpool and Leicester went to penalties at 5-4. Kelechi Iheanacho scored his own penalty, but then two other guys missed, and that's how Liverpool were able to win. Tottenham and West Ham ended 2-1. The semi-finals fixture, this is what it's looking like. You have Liverpool and Arsenal, and of course Tottenham and Chelsea in the semi-final. Bada, quickly, your thoughts, if you can wrap that up in 1 minute.
Well, two mouth-watering fixtures, 4 games to look forward to in January. Arsenal playing host to Liverpool first, and then Chelsea, Tottenham, and then we'll have the reverse fixtures follow. At such a packed period, both coaches, the 4 coaches would prefer a one-legged affair, but they've got to play over 2 legs. Liverpool gave themselves a mountain to climb, started a weakened team against a strong Leicester team, and Leicester will be kicking themselves for not wrapping that one up before Liverpool woke up and tied the game with the last kick, Minamino scoring for 3-3, and then penalties. It was the youngster James and what's his name, Bertrand, that the former Chelsea man had lost their penalty kicks, and Liverpool went through to play Arsenal. Arsenal, you can be sure, will take this semi-final very seriously, field a very strong team, and want to get one over Liverpool again. Remember, they beat Liverpool in the Community Shield just a few months ago. But, you know, I see that the 4 teams would look at this as an opportunity to win their first trophy for the year. Chelsea against Tottenham as well. Conte has come in and steadied the ship, hasn't lost a game for Tottenham. We saw how they troubled Liverpool last weekend. So the EFL has a different look to or feel to it this year, because we have 4 very strong teams, 4 Premier League big boys in the semi-finals, and I'm particularly looking forward to those 4 fixtures in a few days' time.
All right, thank you so much for joining us once again this morning.
Thanks for having me.
All right, we'll just take a look at the papers now. Shola, I'm going to start with Sporting Life. Yes, okay. I'll start with Sporting Life right here. Sporting Life here, you have some stories, outstanding salaries, NFF to pay Raw next week, ex-Eagles coach to get staggered payments. Okay, this is one of the outcome of the press, so questions were asked.
Which could have still been in a press release. Don't get me going. You know I will go off.
Government hopes to get the best out of Kelechi Iheanacho. He came on as a sub for Leicester yesterday and converted his penalty. Ryan Bertrand was the guy who ensured that they lost to Liverpool. If he has converted his penalty,
they would have gone differently.
They would have gone differently, and of course, he would have loved to win another trophy with Leicester City. Okay, you also have the NFF Super Eagles technical advisor job. NFF confirms talking with Pesero and 3 other coaches. There's Mariah there. There's Kasijik also there. Pinnick also confirmed that himself and Dari talked with Jose Mourinho. Says Newman could handle Eagles in AFCON if agrees FG will pay managers federal government will pay the managers' wages. There's so many sponsors. Okay, technical committee to make announcement next week. So you have details of all that.
So we have an announcement about an announcement.
Yes. Sporting Sun is the next one here. And of course, for a Sporting Sun, may capture the whole headline, revealed new manager to lead Eagles to AFCON. Sporting Sun have concluded in this one. And of course, according to Sporting Sun, also wants 3-month salary advance and Portuguese coach is set for unveiling. Okay, I won't get you talking. Reds leads chase for Haaland. Where is Haaland going to? Napoli plots to stop Osimhen from AFCON. This is coming from Sporting Sun too. Raw to get outstanding salaries in 10 days. And Abuja Stadium to host Eagles World Cup qualifiers. Onuachu is out for 4 weeks without muscle tear. The story was that he was injured, but now we have details of that story coming out. He's out for 4 weeks, so Onuachu not may, because we have 17 days to the Nations Cup. That's a
really
sad one, so we won't be going to the Nations Cup.
That's really sad.
Complete Sports is the last one. Complete Sports here. Eagles will play attacking football at AFCON. That's according to Coach Eguavoen. Shola Rogers is laughing. You're going to come here again before the new year. New Eagles coach to emerge next week. Once the Eagles coach is out, you're going to be here in this studio. You're not bidding me Happy New Year yet. Thank you so much for coming on the program.
Thanks for having me. It was fun. Trust me, it was.
Thank you so much for watching. I'm Cecilia Omogbe. See you tomorrow.